Good morning, everyone. Namaste. We are going to call in Archangel Michael to clear, cleanse the space of all negative and lower vibrations from our mind, body, and soul, home and hearts, placing the white light of protection on us with his blue seal. We are going to be reading out of my Kabbalion. It's the 7 Hermetic Principles in the original and the 3 Initiates. And again, the Kabbalion is a study of the Hermetic philosophy of the ancient Egypt and Greece. And we're moving on to the chapter 1, the Hermetic philosophy. It says, the lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of understanding, the Kabbalion. From the old Egypt have come the fundamental esoteric and occult teachings which have so strongly influenced the philosophies of all races, nations, and peoples. For several thousand years, Egypt, the home of the pyramids and the Sphinx, was the birthplace of the hidden wisdom and mystic teachings. From her secret doctrine, all nations have borrowed. India, Persia, Media, China, Japan, ancient Greece, and Rome, to name a few. All these countries and then other ancient countries partake liberally at the feast of knowledge, which is the hierophants and masters of the land of Isis, so freely provided for those who came prepared to partake of the great store of mystic and occult lore which the masterminds of the ancient land had gathered together. In ancient Egypt dwelt the great adepts and masters who have never been surpassed, and who seldom have been equaled during the centuries that have taken their professional flight since the days of the great Hermes. In Egypt was located the great lodge of lodges of mystics. At the doors of her temple entered the neophytes, who afterwards, as hierophants and adepts and masters, traveled to the four corners of the earth, carrying with them precious knowledge which they were ready, anxious, and willing to pass on to those who were ready to receive the same. And a neophyte is someone who is new to a particular field or knowledge of practice, especially in spiritual or esoteric traditions. The term refers to someone who is taking their first steps on the path to spiritual realization, and is derived from the Greek words neo, new, and phyton, plant. It says, all students of the occult recognize the debt that they owe to these vulnerable masters of the ancient land. But amongst the great master of ancient Egypt, there once dwelt a master hailed as the master of masters. This man, if man indeed he was, dwelt in the Egypt in the earliest days. He was known as Hermes Trismegistus. And Hermes Trismegistus is a blending of Hermes, the Greek god, and Thoth together as one. He was the father of the occult wisdom, the founder of astrology, the discovery of alchemy. The details of his life story are lost to history owing the lapse of the years through the several of the ancient countries disputed with each other in their claims to honor of having furnished his birthplace. And this thousands of years ago. The date of sojourn in Egypt in his last incarnation on the planet is not known, but it has been fixed on the early days in the oldest dynasties of Egypt, long before the days of Moses. The best authorities regard him as a contemporary of Abraham, and some of the Jewish traditions go so far to claim that Abraham acquired a portion of his mystic knowledge from Hermes himself. As the years rolled by after the passing from the plane of life, traditions recording that he lived 300 years in the flesh. The Egyptians defied Hermes and made him one of their gods under the name of Thoth or Thoth. Years after, the people of ancient Greece also made him one of their many gods, calling him Hermes, the god of wisdom. The Egyptians revered his memory for many centuries, tens of centuries, calling him the scribes of the gods, and bestowing upon him distinctively his ancient title, Trismegistus, which means thrice great, the great, the greatest great, etc. In all the ancient lands, the names of Hermes Trismegistus was revered, the name being synonymous with the fount of wisdom. 555 on the timer as I look down. Even to this day, we use the term hermetic in the sense of secret, sealed so that nothing can escape it. And this by reason of the fact that the followers of Hermes always observed the principle of secrecy in their teachings. They did not believe in casting pearls before swine, but rather held to the teaching milk for babes, meat for strong men, both of which maxims are familiar to readers of the Christian scriptures, but of both which have been used by the Egyptians for centuries before the Christian era. So I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to quit reading per usual, but I love learning about Hermes Trismegistus, and the next book that I'm going to be reading tomorrow is also going to be on just that. I am not an expertise by any means in regards to this. These are all books that I'm being divinely guided to read. I just trust in the reasoning why. I'm on the ascension path, so I'm assuming it has something to do with the ascension path. Otherwise, I don't think that they would be having me read it myself or share it with anybody. But if you are a little bit more of an expert and you do have any insight, I would love to hear it in the comments. Otherwise, I love you all. Have a blessed day, and namaste.